Welcome to the New York Outlook for Monday, the 12th of February 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, as I said in the London Outlook, we didn't really have any red folder news events. There's one red folder news event, but it's 2 hours after the end of the New York London cross, so I'm not interested in it and it doesn't really affect our trading for today. Having said that, let's move on to the 4 hour chart where we can unpack what has happened thus far. So, coming into the morning, we were roughly in and around this area, with us having reasons to both trade long and short. We've got this pullback phase validated, meaning we can trade counter trend. However, we also had this primary 4H leg also validated as a result of breaking this 4H OB right here. However, subsequently, we then reacted to this pullback phase window of imbalance right here and had this leg being created, which is considered a secondary leg. And then subsequent to that, we had multiple interaction points with this pro-trend primary leg. And this morning, we actually had another one where this could have been a body break or a wick, and it actually was a wick, which then resulted in one of my entries being stopped out and then a new leg being validated associated with the pro-trend primary leg and with the ultimate target being this void swing ERL at the bottom. Moving on to the 5 minute, let's start off with what had happened this morning. So essentially what we had is this pre-Asia low of the day. Whilst we did have the secondary leg, we understood that we wanted the Asia high of the day to be validated first. And as you can see, Frankfurt actually validated the low of the day. As a result, it extended the secondary pullback leg. And the reason why I call it a secondary leg is because this pullback phase leg right here is considered a primary leg, and the OB of this pullback window of imbalance results in a reaction creating a secondary leg, which you can see right here. The secondary leg was invalid at the time of doing the London Outlook simply because the new secondary leg was validated. However, Frankfurt then body broke it and actually validated that the secondary leg extended, so the secondary leg, the pro-trend secondary leg, wasn't at play, and there was only reason to long, with the new or next secondary leg only going to be validated when we body broke this. However, this POI, which was an S&D flip, as you can see right here, so it was a valid POI and it aligned with 38% FIB level, so I was happy to take that entry. Unfortunately, what this was just a liquidity grab to continue to the downside. Having said that, I then took this loss, which was fine in per my trading plan, so nothing to worry about there, perfectly within the probabilistic model. Then in terms of shorting, we got this. Now that we have this wick and the new secondary leg validated, again similar situation to here where the latest information is that the pro-trend confirmed secondary leg is at play, and thus we're only looking for shorts because the Frankfurt high of the day was validated by London. So this was to be validated and now it is validated, and the reason why it's validated is because you can see that the London session actually broke the Frankfurt range, which started off at 9 a.m. and ended off at 10 a.m. with Frankfurt being there and London taking out this low. Initially I had my entry here, however price has moved quite a bit to the downside, however not so much to the downside that I'm concerned that continuations will play out. This 63 measurement level here is there to represent the 70% level of the average daily range, in which case I'll stop considering continuations at this point, and then 90 pips being the current daily range for February. Having said that, I initially had my stop loss there, my entry point situated here with my stop loss above that. However, what we can then see subsequently on the 15 minute is that on the 15 minute we also had the change of character right here, but on the 15 minute the entire OB is this bullish candle with the wick right there, and thus this POI that you're seeing is actually a 15 minute POI, and since there's only one direction to trade in, I'm happy to use this POI as it encompasses the 38 and almost the 50. So if New York pulls us back into this level and then continues to the downside, I'm more than happy with that. Having said all of that, the other thing to note is that this may be the high of the week, and since we are in a pro trend confirm scenario to the downside, and where the potential of us trading a pro trend move from the extreme high of the day, it's worth potentially keeping this trade open until we actually reach the external range liquidity target, which is situated like right here. Unfortunately, the actual POI is, or actual OB, sorry, the actual entry is quite large, so the risk reward isn't that great. However, a valid trade is a valid trade, and we should take them because if we don't, it will skew the probabilistic model. Having said that, I'm going to set this entry on for New York. Um, and I'm purely interested in shorting for the entire New York session, as there isn't really scope for longs unless New York decides to actually body break this level and for this protein primary POI to fail. However, at that point, it's likely that majority of the daily range to the upside will be used up, and we'll probably not be able to get into longs. However, perhaps not to completely rule it out, let's just elaborate on how I would go about getting into a long position. So I need um, I need this level here to be body broken first. Once there is body broken, I can acknowledge that the secondary leg is then extended. Once that is validated, I can then try and evaluate if a London low of the day was validated by a New York high of today, in which case price can come down and then continue to the upside as such, because I'll be able to anchor my fib something like this. Because it's a New York continuation, I'd be okay with a POI that encompasses the 50% level with my stop loss here, and I'll probably target something there, but likely the daily range. Let's remember longs are counter trend at this point, so because of that, I wouldn't want to keep that trade open. So that's pretty much my New York outlook. I've covered both longs and shorts. I think going in the session it's quite obvious that shorts are the primary play. However, if we do get new information to support longs, then it's certainly worth considering. Overall, I hope you have a good session, and we'll chat again for the end of day review.